Hi guys, and welcome back to Wilde. Today we're here with Sam Martin, the lead singer from a band called Laykes. Hi Sam, thank you so much for coming to join us today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So as I mentioned, you are the lead singer of Laykes. Tell us more about the band.
Yeah, sure. So it started I went to LA in March 2019, and I've been recording music as a solo artist for like 4 or 5 years, and I've been releasing stuff under my own name, and then just impromptu, completely out of the blue, in February, I decided I'm gonna go to Los Angeles and see some friends, and we just recorded all this music, and it sounded really different to anything I'd done before. It was just in a very different style, in a very different vein, and I just had this idea of kind of taking on an alias instead of just carrying on as me, which was great. And I loved just releasing music as a solo artist, but it just felt really different. So we recorded about 9 songs, and then was just picking my favorites for the rest of the year, and just trying to develop how I was gonna kind of start this new thing, because it's kind of funny starting something from scratch like that. But it's been it's been incredible. Yeah, it's such a great thing to just start something new when you've already kind of done stuff in the past. But yeah, it's still me. It's still me, and my producer and my friend Chris, that kind of co-produce all the songs. And it's been great. It's been great just getting to do it and getting to put these
Just
singles
to
out.
make
It's been
it
so
clear,
much fun.
are they all based in LA? And do you do it
Yeah.
quickly?
So Tristan's based in LA. Chris is over here. So I write and record everything, and they kind of co-engineer. I mean, Chris is a great mix engineer. Tris is an amazing drummer and bass player, and we just went into the studio together, and we were like, I don't want to keep putting stuff out under my own name, because it felt so different. All the music felt so different, and I had this idea for Laykes in my head, which was originally just spelt how Laykes is spelt, like the word lakes. And the idea just came from wanting to explore new things, I think, and it kind of sat in my back pocket for a while. Like, I think it's the one thing that came from lockdown and quarantine, is just, I thought to myself around June, I should really, this is the time. Like, now there's kind of no better time than now to launch this. But it's been great. It's been so much fun.
How do you guys make it work with the time difference? Because LA it's 7 hours.
Not getting a lot of sleep
Actually, it's
is
nine
the
hours.
first thing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
8 hours. Yeah, 8 hours from London to LA. Yeah, so I'll be up at like 2 or 3 writing ideas down, and then just send them like stems. We'll both have a project file open, and we'll both be kind of messing around with ideas. And then there's a lot of what's called splicing, where I'll send some stuff, they send some stuff, and then it's kind of like, it's really fun. It's kind of like Lego. It's like building something up from little pieces of songs, and that's how it's been. And until we can see each other again, obviously it's been a very strange year for bands, a very uncertain year, but things will get there. And when I can get back out there, I think first priority is just record as much as we can to make up for the last kind of 6 or 7 months. So yeah, that's how we're doing it right now, virtually.
Sure. To be honest with you, at this point, it doesn't really matter where you're based because everything has to be done remotely anyway. We want
Sure.
to
Yeah.
improvise in this kind of critical time. So yeah, it's kind of,
Yeah.
I think if there was any good time to have band members all over the world, this is probably the best time to do it. And tell us more about your sound. How would you describe the music that Laykes create?
Yeah, sure. It's very pop influenced. There's a lot of kind of just very dreamy, like kind of R&B, kind of indie pop influences in there. I just wanted to make music that was universally accessible. You know, the last single was played in like the Philippines and Japan, and the new single was played it was played all over the world. And there's such a thing with indie pop around the world right now, where it's kind of genreless in a way. It's like there are so many different kind of themes from so many different genres of music, all feeding into one. But I think it's just yeah, just like alternative indie pop, kind of big soundscapes. I play guitar and piano. I love huge guitar sounds, and I love like really ambient piano stuff. So I just kind of tried to make something that sounds like everything I like in my head, if that makes any sense. Kind of when you listen to a song and you think, oh, I want to write something like that, but a bit more like this. It's quite eclectic. I think the next couple of songs sounds similar, but they have their differences. But yeah, just very tangible, nostalgic indie pop, I guess, is the quick way to explain it.
And if
It's
you were
always weird.
of course, I mean, it's
Yeah.
always difficult, isn't it? To play
Yeah.
music. If you were to name three influences that
Mhm.
the bands or solo artists that you think influence Lake.
Sure. Yeah, I think production-wise, like early 1975 stuff. Um, a lot of like bands like Joan. There's a band called Joan that I'm listening to right now, and they were a big reference point when I was in LA. A friend of mine, we were driving to Malibu, and a friend of mine stuck them on. Excuse me. And I was like, oh, this is incredible. Who is this, one guy or is it a band? And I was like, no, it's just these two guys making music in their bedroom. And I got really inspired by that bedroom pop kind of thing. A lot of bands like that, like yeah, Coin, Joan, Laney, Lauv. Like he just put an album out, and that was on repeat for me for like the last 3 weeks. There's a band called Old Swing, my friend Lewis's band, Old Swing. They're a huge influence. Just again, very 80s sounding, like guitar pop. It's like Tears for Fears, but in 2020, if that makes sense. But
Tell
yeah,
us,
those are a few.
yeah, sorry. Tell us
No.
more about your musical background. Where did the love for music come from for you?
So I've always played piano and guitar. I mainly play guitar. That's my number one. But me and my brother started playing guitar when we were like 5 or 6, and my parents were both big into music, and they still are. My dad had the most insane record collection that he used to always have on, and we were always really kind of curious about music. We used to kind of get into different things, and we were really interested in, it sounds kind of nerdy, but just the band side of it, and like the aesthetic side of it was very cool. And yeah, just my parents always had records on in the house. Both my sisters were really big into like kind of 90s R&B, so we all just grew up in a very musical household, which is great. I'm glad. I'm sure when I was like 10 years old and trying to have a lay in, and I could hear Jimi Hendrix being played really loudly downstairs, I probably wasn't so grateful back then, but I am now. I'm very grateful now.
And creativity wise, how have you found lockdown? Obviously, we don't know where things are kind of going at the moment, but we have kind of pretty much only just come out of a long
Hmm.
of a long lockdown. How did you kind of utilize that time for your
Hmm.
creativity?
It was actually really strange. I think the same as everybody, I had that very scary first couple of weeks where shows were getting cancelled and tours were getting cancelled. We had about 19 summer festivals and shows that we were going to play, and that was just as me. So it's kind of a two-sided, it's two sides to every coin. Like I'm very, very sad that those shows got cancelled, but then also it did, like I said, it did give me the time to bring Laykes to life, to actually make that a thing. Because if I had tried to do this with the summer we had planned, I would never have been able to even think about doing another project. I would just be way too busy. So I had a hard couple of weeks, and then I just got my head down in the studio while I just went on my own, like just locked myself down in the studio and was just recording. And I was like, this is it. Like, this is going to be the Laykes year. I'm going to set like its birthday, and it's going to be like my baby. I'm going to have, like July 4th was like, I remember because it was the 4th of July was the day I officially said, right, this is when it starts. And that was it. So I think it was hard to start with, but I've been so productive, which feels really good because I don't like staying still for too long. Which is tough, you know, with not being able to travel. I think anyone that traveled a lot before found it tough, and I definitely found it tough. But we're getting there, you know, slowly but surely we're getting there.
And your first single, Internet Friends, were released kind of right in the middle of lockdown. That must have been
Yeah,
challenging.
yeah, that was scary, to be honest. Like, it was not just because because of that, and also because of I'd never put anything out like that before. And it was my first time not writing kind of introspectively. It was about, I don't know, it kind of felt relevant because I don't know about you, but I mean, I just thought for years and years of my life I'd met all these people that had become so important to me through the internet and through Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and um, even people that I hadn't met had become incredibly important parts of who I was. And it sounds like a kind of sad thing, but the song's actually kind of a celebration of, it doesn't matter if you're internet friends or if you've met in person, like, everyone matters. And that's, I think, it's kind of a juxtaposition. Like, the song sounds sadder, if that makes sense. But it was scary putting that out, and the response was incredible, and I'm so grateful for everyone that listened, and just how people interpreted it. But yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy that I did it. That I actually got around to doing it, you know.
And now you have released your second song as well, Another Day,
Mm-hmm.
which came out on the 15th of September. Tell us what the song is all about.
Yeah, Another Day was actually the first song I recorded out in Santa Monica. I had the idea for it for a while. I had like the chords and some of the lyrics, but I was just really, it's about missing someone, like, a lot. And I had friends over there, I had family over there that I was saying goodbye to when I was coming back, and I had people that, you know, I mean, even coming home, when I came home from LA just before lockdown started, I was just really missing my friends, and it's kind of a song about letting yourself be vulnerable, I suppose, and letting yourself be just opening up to people, because I feel like that's relevant through lockdown, because we just need to stick together, you know, we just need to stay together. So yeah, it's kind of a love and loss song. It's sort of bittersweet. But I've had that song in my head for ages, and it was so fun to finally sit and record it. And I remember when I got the final mix, I was looking at my voice notes on my phone, and I think I'd written the chorus like nearly a year ago, but I hadn't had the rest of it finished. So yeah, I'm happy that it's out finally. But yeah.
And what are you working towards next?
Um, the EP, the first Laykes EP, which will be good. That will be, hopefully, all things depending, will be Christmas 2020. All all the gears are still going, and obviously, if we don't get plunged into a second lockdown, hopefully we don't, but that's the plan at the moment. Yeah. So just working towards that EP. It's going to be like a 5-6 track EP. But yeah, I'll be able to say more about that when I know I know for sure if everything's going to still, you know, happen. Hopefully it will.
Well, we're really looking forward to it. Hopefully it will happen this year.
Thank
If
you.
not, we'll be looking forward to it regardless. So thank
Yeah.
you so much, Sam. It's been so lovely to have you here. All
Thank you so much.
thank you. All of Lake's details will be left in the box down below, all the music and the socials. So please do check them out. Also check out Wilde socials while you're here, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.